So, I just wanted to do this video just to say hi, and also I've learned that when you're in public spaces like grocery shopping, getting gas, going to eat at the restaurant, any type of public places, people can record you, and if you see the recording, you just have to simply walk away. About a week or two ago, I was recorded at the post office by somewhat of a stranger. I was giving out my my address, the destination where the box is supposed to be sent to. Basically, I requested him not to record me because those are my private information that I gave out to the postmaster. Evidently, he can record it. So when it comes to, I got nervous and scared, so I hurry up and get my transaction done, and then I left. I went for the door to leave as quickly as possible after I noticed he did not turn off his camera. So long story short, there's a group of YouTuber called the First Amendment, which they are supposed to go out and record public places such as the postal office, the city hall, and different public places. Apparently they're not, they're supposed to protect our First Amendment right. For me, that day, I was giving out personal and private information to the postmaster, so it was very concerning to me, like, okay, what is he gonna do with that information? What is gonna come about this? And apparently he followed me to the car and basically just recorded the license plate and everything on my car. I felt very uncomfortable, and so I went and called the police. Evidently, the police cannot do anything because you're in public spaces, and therefore they're able to record you. Unless, even if he yells profanity towards me, their police cannot do anything for that either. So they could only do something if the person attacks me or do physical harm. But if the persons yell names, profanity, whatever, they are not gonna be in trouble, and they're not gonna haul the person away. Well, I live in California, and California is very, very liberal. So the people is always right. While talking to the police, they told me that they cannot do anything for me. They took down my information. I gave them the reason for my call, and they said that if I felt threatened, if something ever happened, they have records of my call, and that was pretty much it. However, I did post the video up to social media, next doors and things like that. Well, a lot of people had a lot of feedback. They say, oh, I'm a Karen. They say things like, don't you care for our First Amendment right? But to be honest with you, they were not in my shoes, and they did not experience the experience that I have. And so stick and stone doesn't break my bone. This is my personal opinion. If you are doing the First Admin video, that's fine. Tell the people you're recording what you're doing. Don't be a freaking creep and just stand there and keep on recording even though the person requested not to have their face showing, or not to have the video on too close. This gentleman was so close to me that he was literally 2 inches away. As I walked away, my shoe slipped out and I was at the door. He was right behind me at that point. So, and there were other people at the postal office. There were different nationalities. I am Asian. He did not record other nationality. He recorded, obviously, me. I'm Asian. And then he recorded another Asian gentleman. So it's just based on how I react at the time. I wanted to leave the post office as soon as possible, and I wanted to get away. But this person chased after me and recorded me from top to bottom, and even the incident that my shoe slipped off because I tried to literally run outside of the postal office. With that being said, First Amendment videos are good, but you have to be somewhat respectful to the people you're recording. Imagine if you are recording a person who have a weak heart or some type of issues health-wise. You could literally give somebody a heart attack for just aiming a camera at the person and not explaining what the heck you're doing. Also, when there's personal private information being given to the social worker or the postmaster, you should not record and include that in your video. I understand reaction videos are very, very popular, and everyone try to monetize on YouTube, on TikToks, on social media. It's okay to monetize, to hope for the best and work hard at it, but not to the point where you're invading other people's privacy. At least be respectful enough to tell the person what you're doing instead of covering yourself from head to toe and just stood there with the camera. At least tell them, hey, I am doing an admin video for YouTube. You know, tell people what you're doing so you're less frightening. You know, it was very frightening for me to experience such an event, because that never had happened to me before. And on top of that, I was having a personal conversation with the postmaster, which I don't want anyone else to hear. With that being said, there were people that commented on my post and they were very kind about it, and there were people that were not very kind. If you can't be kind, okay, if you can't be kind, you can't be nice with your comment, I suggest don't waste your time, you know, to comment, because who want to hear your opinion if you're hateful about it? And imagine if this happens to your parents, your sister, your sibling, how would they feel? How would they react? I was not naive enough to just let it go. I let it go, but this person invaded not only my privacy by following me, but he was listening into the conversation that I have had with the postmaster, and that's what really upsetting. And also, he would not speak to me when I asked him, hey, are you recording for YouTube? What channel? You know, he just stood there in silence and started and record. So with that being said, he was not respectful, number one. Number two, you know, this is COVID time. You don't come up to a freaking stranger and stand next to them like 2 feet away, 2 inches away. And, you know, it was not right. And even though you're doing a YouTube video, you're recording, let people know, okay? Don't stand there and just look at the person and just record and just be in complete silence, because people get startled. People don't know what you're doing and they get scared. And this time and day with COVID and everything, people want to have a less stressful life. And for somebody to come out in the blue in the postal office with his head, eyes fully covered, recording somebody, not telling them what's the purpose is for, that creates a lot of tensions and fear. So it's not only an invasion of privacy, which I know I don't have since I am in public and I'm also on YouTube, but it's just traumatizing. It's traumatizing, and I don't want to experience that. It happens to me. I posted up on Nextdoor to warn people that this is happening. But if you are a YouTuber and you're doing admin, at least communicate and tell people what you're doing, so that way not only you get a supporter, but you have a connection. Maybe the person you recorded will become your viewer and your subscriber. So if that's the case, communicate. Just don't be a creep and stand there and aim your camera whichever direction you want to, because that's not right. And if the person said, hey, can you record somewhere else and don't be too close, because they don't want you to record their conversation. I did not want him to record my conversation with the postmaster. So yes, I did call the police. Yes, I did act like a Karen, but I don't care for those who call me a Karen, because I have my own name and I'm proud of it. I stood up for myself and I record him and post him on YouTube too, because people needs to know. You are protecting the First Amendment right. Perfect, great for you. But you are violating other people's personal space. That is not right. If they say, hey, you need to stay 6 feet away because of COVID. Hey, if you need to, you can record, but you need to stay away so you don't record the conversation. Do be respectful to that, because personal conversation is vital. And no one wants to have their address posted up all over the internet and stuff like that. Yes, you can be looked up online and you can have your address all over the place, but be respectful. I mean, you don't want that happening to you, so why are you putting somebody else in that space where you have their information and just upload it on YouTube because you wanted to have view and reaction? He wanted a reaction. I was mad and I did give him a reaction. I know I shouldn't, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, and I have no regret to having did what I've done, because at the end of the day, I have my right. I have a voice. I can exercise my right too as well. So, you know, at the end of the day, I give zero shit what the fuck he's doing, but I also want to make sure to tell him I may be petite, I may be Asian, but just I'm not gonna have that. And I recorded him and bust him out on social media as much as he had disrespected my request. So yes, do what you gotta do to get your views, get your subscriber, get whatever you want to get your goal complete, but do not be disrespectful. If somebody say, hey, I don't want to be recorded, please do not record my personal information and post it on YouTube or whatever, then you need to stop, because that is very invasive, and that is not protecting somebody else's First Amendment right. That is an invasion of privacy. That is not right. And even though the police can't do anything to you, but I'm not wishing bad things to happen to people. However, you can record somebody and they can knock your camera out, break your camera, or break your nose. I'm not that type of person where physical violence is the answer to everything, but there are people that are going to do that to you. And I'm sure as much as you want to have the view, you don't want a broken nose and be in the hospital recovering for that view. Is not worth your physical health, is not worth your the pain you'll be suffering. So with that being said, these are my opinion, and I believe I am entitled to the opinion that due to my experience, and I believe I have the right to say something. And if you felt like you may comment on my video that I posted and I deleted it, well, I don't like to read negatives, and I did what I think was right at the time. It might not be right, but it's what I thought it was right at the time. And my goal was not to offend anyone, was not to do anything to harm anybody, or anything like that. My goal is to let people know that this is happening so that they can avoid and not having to go through the traumas that I went through. And as I am on YouTube, you don't need to freaking follow me with the cameras around. I do post myself up on YouTube because I wanted to, and I have my right. Do you know why I do that? It's not for subscribers, it's not for fame. It's for my family who is from a different region to see my family and me. And I can private it, but if I private it, then no one else could see. So I'm not trying to monetize on YouTube. I mean, if they pay me, great. If they don't pay me, I don't care. I live a very, very busy life. I have relatives in different countries all over the place. So it's my way to communicate with them when I don't have time. And also I cook, and I like to be able to show how I cook, right? That way, not to teach someone else to cook, but to show my family how I cook. And later on, if my son, who gets a little bit older, if he needs to learn how to cook, then he could refer back to my videos. So my channel is a complete mess, but that's how it is. It's just to show my daily life, is to show how I do things. I'm not doing it for followers, for subscribers. I am doing it just to save space on my phone. And YouTube allowed me to have unlimited access to saving a time capsule of my life and my family and what I like to do. I love flowers. I love trees and plants. So that's what I posted. That's me. That's what I surround myself with. I don't want to surround myself with negativity. I did not ask the guy to record me. I did not ask anyone to look at, what I'm doing or anything like that. My goal, my personal goal, is to have a time capsule for when later on, if my son gets a little bit older, he can use all of my videos to help him with cleaning, help him with cooking, help him with whatever. With that being said, I'm glad and happy if you're watching my video and understand how I feel. And but if you disagree with how I feel and what I've done, towards the posting the guy on YouTube and making comment and stuff about him, well, that's my opinion. And I have the freedom of speech just as everyone else does. So with that being said, even though I live in a little liberal state, it's just I have my own opinion, and I'm not going to let my opinion go and to let people try to abuse their. So you're fighting for the First Amendment right, but you're abusing someone else's privacy and right to express. And that's how I see it. That's the reason why I gave him his own taste of medication by recording him and posting him up on YouTube. So this is my feedback, my opinion, and I give zero shit about what other people say or call me. You can call me whatever name you want. You can call me whatever. You don't have to watch my videos, because I don't give a shit. Well, that's all for today. And no, I do not edit my video. So you're getting the me that without editing. I don't put on extreme makeup. I don't, basically, I'm just a simple person trying to make it in life, and I'm just a person who respect other people. However, if they respect me, everyone needs to earn that respect. When you disrespect me, then that's it. I don't need to deal with you. I don't need to worry about you. I don't need to care for you. And honestly, the person at the postal office, I don't care for him. When he doesn't respond, when he doesn't tell me what he's doing, that was it. I give him some of my time, but that was how I feel, how I react to that situation, because he was coming up very close to me and he was very invasive towards my personal space during COVID, and he was recording my conversation with the postmaster, and I did not like that at all.